just because they are sort of the leaders of our school, and Colin couldn't be here today, but just to give us an introduction. So I'm just going to talk to you briefly about a small change that's going to be upcoming, and it actually has to do with spring break. So you know we're talking a lot about student engagement, and we have the engagement circles on every classroom. We're talking about being engaged and demonstrating perseverance and resilience and having a lot of different types of learning opportunities. So we've been working as a faculty to make sure, just because the year is so busy, we need to maximize all of our instruction time and learning time. So this year, we are actually going to implement projects in each academic discipline for the entirety of spring break. And so today's assembly is going to be a presentation by each department on what these projects will be and sort of how you will work through them. Guys, I know, bear with me, this is important. But so to start us off, I'm actually going to turn it over to Mr. Jennings and Ms. Sanchez, who are going to talk a little bit about English.
Okay, thanks guys. Can we have your attention? All right, we're just gonna talk very briefly because we have to get through 5 academic subjects. But we're gonna talk about the English project that you're gonna be working with, okay? We've really spent a good amount of time thinking about a theme that could be embraced by all 3 grade levels.
Yeah, and really it's important that we recognize that the 6th grade is sort of finishing up with The Giver, the 7th grade just finished Fahrenheit 451, and the 8th grade with your memoir project. And this really sort of works across all 3 grade levels. And the project is going to be about the idea of synchronicity. And this is, over the last couple of days, I've been asking some of my classes about what this word means, how much you kind of understand what that means. And obviously we'll be going into more detail in your classes over the next week. But just so you have sort of an idea of the scope of the project, we just want to go through some of the details.
Right, we wanted to keep it sort of broad enough that it could be embraced by, anyone. So obviously you might be asking yourself, what exactly is it, synchronicity? It's always good to start with Webster's definition of synchronicity, the quality or fact of being synchronous. OUS being an adjective ending.
So, and the kind of a classic dictionary definition that sends you to the definition of another word. In this case, synchronous means involving or indicating synchronism, which I think makes it a little more clear, but we'll go into more about that in your classes this week too. Sorry.
In case you want a little bit more,
quick overview.
Yeah, quick overview, a little bit more from Carl Jung on synchronicity. I think when you kind of read through that, it really becomes very clear what synchronicity is.
And I would just highlight the end here. Is there events that seem related but are not explained by conventional mechanisms of causality, which I think probably some of you are already sort of able to think how this could apply to the work you've been doing in English class. And as you learn a little bit more about who Carl Jung is and was, I think that'll be even more clear.
Yeah. So taking that idea of synchronicity, thinking about where you'll be on spring break, let's just highlight some of the conditions of the project. It is going to be research-based. And the good news is that no matter where you are, whether you're in Vail or if you're in your house in North Wales, you'll be able to do research for this project.
And you guys over the last couple of years have had a chance to do some great work with design thinking. So you're familiar with sort of the process of ideating and brainstorming. So we'll be asking you to use those same processes, thinking about synchronicity, thinking about what it means for things to be in sync, and how synchronicity can apply to all of your curriculum work you've done this year.
Right, so after you ideate, the next thing is to use your prototypes. So I think I'm off mic right now, but prototyping is just an opportunity for you to have a physical representation of your understanding of synchronicity. Okay, so there'll be a prototype, a physical prototype with this project.
And then the last piece, obviously, for an English project, of course, there's going to be a written piece to this, and this is where you'll sort of analyze what that physical representation means, what that synchronicity, how you see that kind of combining everything you've been doing in your classes so far.
Yeah, and I know whenever there's something that's written in my classes, students are always asking, well, what's the length requirement? And while I don't love that question, since I won't be able to be with all of you over spring break, we did come up with some minimum guidelines. For 6th grade, there'll be a minimum 6-page requirement. 7th
Guys, so listen, wait. So you might think that I know that seems like a lot, but remember, you've got the ideating, you'll have the brainstorming, you'll have the prototype diagrams in there. So and then listen. I do want to say on the first day back from spring break, you'll be turning these in to your English teachers. We will collect all these pages. We will read through them, okay?
You know, I'm just sitting here thinking, did you say that we were going to be, the English teachers were going to read through all these as soon as we get back from break?
Yeah, we decided English teachers would be the ones we'll read through it. 7 pages on average. It's like about 2,000 pages of reading.
I don't think I really thought that one through very well, because I have a lot to do as soon as we get back. And like, I mean, like 2,000 pages is a lot for me.
Should we not?
Should we just not do it?
I feel like we should just tell Mr. Jeswald to forget it.
Yeah.
Mr. Jeswald, we're not doing it. No work.